lot of new stuff, but there's a lot of continuing series that I'm following and really like, and also a lot of trade paperbacks and graphic novels and collected edition
Yes,
books.
I noticed that too. There was a ton of trades this week, and like
Hmm.
I when I was trying to find number ones to possibly read for today, I couldn't find a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to talk about some of them. I've actually got a large amount of collected edition books and graphic novels here to show off. But first, I know you haven't been on the stream for a while, but you know how I like to start the stream.
Somewhat.
We like to start with facsimile reprints
Oh yes, of course, I did
because
know that.
because I'm an old guy and I like to talk about
Yes,
old
that's
comics.
fair. Yeah.
So there's two main facsimiles that come out tomorrow. Marvel is keeping up with their Dark Phoenix Saga X-Men reprints, and it's not really the final issue of the Dark Phoenix Saga. It's more like an epilogue to the Dark Phoenix Saga. This is the issue after the story has finished up and Jean Grey is dead. And as you can see from the cover,
Man, spoiler alert.
spoiler alert for a 40-year-old comic book story. Like,
That everybody knows the plot too.
spoiler alert for the most famous 40-year-old comic book story. But yeah, this is the issue where Cyclops leaves the X-Men, and I have a soft spot for this issue because, as I said, it's a eulogy kind of for Jean, and it it basically is kind of like a eulogy for the past several decades of X-Men stories because
Yeah.
like with Cyclops leaving, that's the last of the original characters on the team.
Okay.
So like because the as you all know, as everybody knows, like the X-Men originally in the 60s were just like the five main ones: Beast, Cyclops, Angel, Iceman, and Marvel Girl. And
Who the heck is that guy next to Blob?
this guy,
Yes.
that is the Vanisher. I think he's a villain from X-Men 2, maybe. He's a very very early one of the earliest
Okay.
X-Men villains. His superpower is that he can turn invisible,
I mean,
which
okay,
is
it is a
which is
superpower.
actually a very good
Yeah, I
superpower.
mean, it's more of a useful, like genuinely more useful for a villain than a hero. Like,
Right, yeah. And that's actually one of my favorite early. That's a Stan Lee and Jack Kirby X-Men issue,
mhm.
and I don't remember if it's 2 or 3, but it's one of the early ones. And basically, he just uses his power to like rob banks,
I mean, it's a
and
really
then
practical use for it.
it is, and then he like uses it to blackmail the White House. He tries to like start a nuclear war somehow.
That's a step up from robbing banks. It's a natural progression.
escalation,
Yeah.
yeah. And so this is the issue ends with Professor X just being after the X-Men fight him to a standstill, and the Vanisher's like, "You'll never catch me," and Professor X is like, "All right, fine,
Is
I'll
this what-
just erase your memory."
I was gonna say, isn't this the guy? This is the guy you told me about. He erased the memory of, and probably
Yeah.
got killed by a sentinel later. Not understood why.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's one of the early instances of Professor X being really loose with his morals, which I don't actually like because I don't I don't like when people look to those stories for like official continuity because they were clearly just kind of
Yes.
feeling out the ideas of the characters. And at a certain point, they're just like, maybe Professor X shouldn't be using his powers like that.
A little lobotomized,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But yeah, so that's the Vanisher, and he has a great costume, as you can see.
It's pretty amazing.
But anyway, so like this issue, what's so cool about it is that it's Cyclops reminiscing about everything that had happened to the X-Men up until that point, and so it kind of works as just a history of the X-Men books, which you got to remember, back in 1980 when this came out, there weren't a lot of reprints of these comics out there. They weren't printing out collected editions, and you couldn't just go to Wikipedia and catch up on a summary.
Yeah.
And so there was an art to the storytelling in these old books of keeping the continuity alive in the new stories. And this issue really worked really well for that because, like I said, it's basically just a eulogy. It's an epitaph for the X-Men, and also a sign of like the book moving forward from there in like almost a completely new context. Like Professor X is still there, but
Yeah.
the
rest of the team's different.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's a classic issue of the X-Men. It's a really good standalone issue too. Honestly, like you can just read it and get a nice Cyclops story, and also yeah, I mean we all know that Cyclops is the best X-Man.
He is pretty great, actually.
So yeah, this is for all X-Men fans, all Cyclops fans especially. Definitely check this issue out. Okay, another old facsimile, even older than that issue of X-Men, is Action Comics Number 23. Can you guess when this comic book originally came out, Baron?
But Action Comics would have been an early one. That would have been what, 1940s?
1940.
1940. Okay.
Yes. This is the 23rd issue of Action Comics. So, 212.
I'm mostly glad I wasn't super far off and
Two-
just sounded like a moron.
Yeah,
Said like the 70s.
Oh, it must be really old, like 1960. No, this is from 1940. This is Action Comics number 23, and this is the first appearance of Lex Luthor in this comic.
Okay.
And it's actually like reading this. I read this story today, and it's pretty interesting because I like Golden Age Superman, but I've not read a ton of it.
Mhm.
But it is definitely a different flavor of Superman. Like he's much more menacing
I was
with his
about to
powers,
say, isn't he a bit more
and
of a jerk?
he's like willing to just like kind of kill people. And this story, it's like I said, it's the first appearance of Lex Luthor, but it's not really the Lex Luthor that we know.
No, he's very different.
He's very, very different. For starters, he's so different. He has hair. He's not bald.
I'll say, isn't the original story? Is it the reason he's bald eventually supposed to be that like he did some? I know it's supposed to be he did something that made him bald.
So this was like a Bronze Age, I want to say, in the 70s. They did this story where because in that continuity, Superboy and Lex Luthor, well, not Superboy, I'm sorry, Clark Kent and Lex Luthor were friends.
Mhm.
They grew up together in Smallville, and Lex does an experiment and starts a fire in his lab, and Superboy tries to save him by using his super breath to blow out the fire.
Blows all of his hair
And
off.
I think it like blows some chemicals onto him.
Okay, that makes a bit more.
But also he effectively blows all of Lex's hair off and makes him prematurely bald, and that's why he hates Superboy and Superman. And so, so this is just, I just thought this was really funny. This is the first panel that you see Lex Luthor, and he's not bald, but everybody else is.
Foreshadowing.
Right. But yeah, it's an interesting story in that it takes place in 1940, and Clark Kent and Lois Lane are in Europe doing war correspondence.
He's just shooting a machine gun in that.
Oh, yeah.
As a joke.
Yeah, no, that's
Like-
Superman just shooting a machine gun.
Like way less effective than anything else he could possibly be doing. He just always wanted to shoot a machine gun.
Right.
Boy, howdy. Boo, boo, boo.
And then he's out of ammunition, so he decides to just grab the plane and throw it at another
Yeah.
plane. But yeah, it's interesting because this issue has Clark and Lois in Europe doing war correspondence for two fictional countries that are at war. Because obviously this was World War II time, but they don't say specifically which wars it is. But Lex's plot is that he's just facilitating this war between these two. He's like feeding them information so that they'll go to war with each other. And his end goal, he spells it out very clearly. His end goal is to just make the entire world weaker by having everybody constantly at war. And then he'll just swoop in and fix everything, and he'll be the supreme leader of the planet.
Weirdly, that's actually pretty on brand for Lex, despite being a really early formative story.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that just
Like,
seems like something late Lex would do.
Well, it actually, I wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn did read this story
As far as the new...
for the new Superman movie, because that's a major plot point, is that Lex Luthor is facilitating war, and specifically funding it and instigating it between two other countries, so that he can appear to be a neutral savior.
Literally hero syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was really interesting. There's also, just real quick, I like Action Comics. I like these Golden Age books because they're anthology series, so they have lots of other comics in them as well. So you don't just get the Superman story. You get Pep Morgan, it's like Cave Carson, I think. All these the Black Pirate, all these just classic action 3 aces. But I think my favorite one, apart from Superman, of course, is it's the very last Zatara, because the father of Zatanna.
Yeah,
Like in canon, he's Zatanna's dad.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I often forget he did have a comic.
Yeah, exactly. You forget that he's not a character in Zatanna's comics, that he literally was a Golden Age character. And he has the same powers, and it's pretty funny the way he uses them. like these gangsters try to shoot him, so he turns their bullets into doves, and then he turns their car into a baby carriage with them dressed in baby clothes,
That's kind of
which
amazing.
embarrasses them.
I mean, it's still pretty amazing.
And then they just leave.
I mean, that would deflate a robbery pretty quick.
Yeah, and there's some.
Hey, Mitch, I'm a baby now. I don't want to rob the store anymore.
Exactly.
I want to go home.
There's some pretty silly things in here. There's I guess I don't want to like spoil some of the best lines, but like I think my favorite thing ever is there's this a homely woman, and she decides to help out Zatara, and she does, and he says, "Oh, thank you for your help. Name your wish, and I'll do whatever I can." And she says, "Make me beautiful." And so in backwards speak, he says, "Girl, be very beautiful," and it works. And she says, "For this, I shall be your slave forever."
Jesus Christ. That took a turn.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, the 1940s.
Genuinely, I was actually about to ask how early, and I guess the answer is immediately, how early the whole talking backwards to make the spells work.
Oh, that
thing.
was like the whole gimmick?
That was from the get-go. That's what I was about to ask, actually.
Yep.
But I guess, by you pointing it out there, it's like, oh, it was there from the beginning.
From the very, very beginning. And there's some other funnier, like sillier stuff. I don't even want to show it on the stream. I think you should just buy this issue and read it. It's pretty good. But yeah, so classic. I love me some old vintage comics. There's one other book here that came out last week, and I didn't get a chance to talk about it on the stream for a variety of comical reasons that I'm not going to go into here. But I'm going to mention it here because it's almost a facsimile. It is a reprint, and that is TMNT Journeys #1. I am very excited for this comic book. If you saw this on the stands and you're not quite sure what it is, you thought, oh, that looks like kind of a weird Ninja Turtles comic. Because to be fair, there are a lot of different Ninja Turtles comics always kind of coming out. There was the regular IDW, or no, there is the regular IDW series. There's the Last Ronin series. There's like a couple of spin-off series. So you're forgiven if you see this on the stands and you don't know what it is. But this is a reprint of the 2000, I think it was 2002 or 2004. I want to say 2002. And it's volume 4 of the original Ninja Turtles series by, this one is just by Peter David, and he teams up with another artist named Jim Lawson. This was after Kevin Eastman cashed out, and he sold his share of the Ninja Turtles to Peter David, and Peter David kept it going. And so this was originally printed by Mirage Studios, and this just continues the original Ninja Turtles run. And it's just like, I just love looking at it. It's got that classic Peter David art style, but he's teamed up with, like I said, Jim Lawson, who has also, I have a few like random indie comics by him that I just like pulled out of dollar bins. Like he was just like an indie guy in the 80s and 90s. So it's like, it looks very similar, as you can see, very similar to the original Turtles because it does have Peter David, but there's like some slight differences here and there because Eastman is not involved in this at all. It's just Peter David. But notably, the cool thing about this book is that it has never ever been reprinted. So they've reprinted like the original Mirage Ninja Turtles run by Eastman and Laird, but they never did just Laird and Lawson, I guess. Like there's his series, Laird. Bleh. I'm getting tongue-tied just trying to keep track of all these names. But so this is like reprinted for the first time, and which I'm really excited about because I remember when this book was coming out, and I did not buy it because I wasn't really collecting Ninja Turtles, and I was reading just trade paperbacks and reprints.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'll just read them when they collect them in a trade paperback.
It never happened.
And it never happened. And here we are over 20 years later, and it's finally happening. So I'm finally getting to read this. This series went like 32 issues, I think. So and as far as I know, IDW is reprinting the whole series. So it's gonna go for like 2 years at least.
Okay.
3 years. So, who knows? In that time, fingers crossed, maybe they get Peter David back to kind of do some more like new continuation of this. That would basically be my dream come true if they could do that. But anyway, so yeah, very, very cool. I like this a lot. One other thing to briefly mention is coming out tomorrow, a second printing of Ghost Pepper. And we've talked about #2 last week, and we did talk about #1 when it came out. So if you missed this series, there's a second printing of #1. This is a cool comic. I don't know if you flipped through this one, Aaron.
I have not gotten to this one yet.
This one's pretty cool. It's very I describe it as very like 90s video game, like almost like RPG type of setting. It's like
see, yeah.
it's like a lot of the designs. They feels like it could be like a Final Fantasy type.
It
type
reminds
thing.
me of the game Beyond Good and Evil a little bit. If you're familiar with that game.
I'm actually not. I'm not a super.
That's okay.
I'm not a like a. I know some older video games, but not a
Yeah,
lot.
that's fair.
But yeah, like this has like that mix of like sci-fi and
fantasy in equal portions.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got robots in it, and it's just really cool. The main character, one of the main characters, basically she just drives a food truck in like a post-apocalyptic landscape.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, so that's like your transport, your main, like the thing that literally drives the plot. And then you have this other character who's kind of this like ancient warrior of legend that everybody's forgotten about.
Those are around.
Yeah, exactly. They're around. And then you have some kind of totalitarian evil leader who's oppressing everybody.
Yeah.
It's pretty standard, but like it just hits all the right notes in a good way. I like, the art by Ludo is very good. So definitely, if you missed the first issue, check it out. Issue 2 is also on the stands. And yeah, second printing of #1. Okay, I got a few collected editions, trade paperbacks that we're going to talk about very briefly, and then I'm going to take a break and let my counterpart here talk about a book. Meta Mouse graphic novel comes out tomorrow. This is, as you might assume from looking at it, this is supplemental material to the famous graphic novel Mouse by Art Spiegelman. This is also by Art Spiegelman. This is basically just like it's like you could consider it like special features to Mouse.
It's a DVD menu, if you will.
Exactly. First of all, I love this cover. I like that.
It is a pretty great cover.
It has that I don't know what you call that cutaway. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, it's got interviews with Art Spiegelman, examples of other comics that he's done. But it's very thorough and pretty big. It just kind of details a lot of his history, like why he made the comic and just what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Why mice? Just kind of the gestation of the idea and stuff like that. So if you really like Mouse, I do recommend it. I haven't had a chance to read this, but it looks really good. I will probably try to grab it because I really like Mouse. Also coming out tomorrow, that's the other thing about this stream. I'm kind of inadvertently getting to talk about some of my absolute favorite comics ever made.
Okay.
Like we talked about that X-Men issue. We got to talk about classic Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Mouse. And now we're going to talk about going in the complete opposite direction. Batman Year 100, which I am not exaggerating. This is just a new printing of it. This is not a new book. This came out like 20 years ago. But I'm talking about it on the stream because I'm not exaggerating when I say it's possibly my favorite Batman book of all time. I know there's a lot of great Batman comics out there, and everybody has their own favorite style and flavor of Batman.
Dark Knight Returns made Batman old and salty. What if we made him older and saltier?
Older and saltier. Well, see, that's what I love. So, okay. I mean, I take it you've never read Batman Year 100.
I've not.
So this is by Paul Pope, one of my absolute favorite cartoonists who does not do nearly enough work in comics. And there's probably a lot of reasons for that, which we won't go into here. But I love Batman Year 100 because it takes place, it's similar to Dark Knight Returns. It takes place in the future, specifically in the year 2039. And the story is laid out in that it is 100 years after the first appearance of Batman in 1939.
Okay.
And so it takes place in kind of this dystopian future Gotham. And it's not really a mystery, but you just don't know who Batman is. You know there's a Batman running around,
mm-hmm.
and this is his story. But there's kind of like this confusion or suspicion of like he can't be the original Batman. Mm-hmm. That would mean he's like 130 years old.
Yeah.
And you never really. I guess I don't want to spoil it, but you never find out who it is because it's not the point. The point is that there's just
is a Batman.
Yeah, and it's just really great classic comic cartooning work by Paul Pope, who I think is truly a master.
See, now I feel a little dumb because when I read it, I was thinking, oh, okay, this is just. I was thinking like an idiot that it's like, okay, somehow this is just 130-year-old Batman beating up crims,
Well,
whatever.
I
I mean,
mean, that's to be fair, that's raised as a legitimate point in the book. They're
yeah.
like, oh, he's a superhero. He's got powers. Maybe
I,
he's just an immortal.
I mean, it's not like Batman in universe has a frequent recurring element that can make somebody younger. Like it's
Right.
not like there's not literally precedent for this. Maybe
Exactly.
he let his morals slip a little bit, took a quick,
Quick dip in
Lazarus
the Lazarus.
shower.
Yeah. But yeah, so like there's all of that stuff is like exactly. That's why you could believe that Batman is just 100 years old. But like I said, it's not really what the story's about. It's just a cool dystopian future superhero story.
Yeah.
Just the guy wearing a Batman costume, and just the art is just so good. It's so great.
Now here's where they could have really looped you. As very last panel of the very last issue, somebody's like, "What is your name?" Actually, it's like Terry McGinnis.
Yeah, that I would have liked that because I do really like Batman Beyond.
I also
But
really
anyway,
like Batman
if you
Beyond.
haven't read Batman Year 100, it gets my highest recommendation for Batman books. We get people in here all the time asking about like what's a good Batman book. This is probably the one for me.
I might actually check it out because what you described sounds more interesting than what I falsely thought it was. It's just 130-year-old Batman, which doesn't sound that good to me.
Yeah, I mean that's you have Dark Knight Returns for that.
Yeah,
That's basically
yeah,
what
he's
that is.
85-year-old Batman there.
Right, exactly. Another collected edition coming out tomorrow for, I guess it's technically kind of the first time it's in hardcover. I'm talking about Akira by Katsuhiro Otomo. And this book, this is just volume 1, first of all. There's 5 of them.
It's a very heavy read.
It's a pretty dense read. And this is, it was released as a box set with hardcovers. Because that's what I bought, like, I don't know, 4 years ago,
It's
something
been
like that.
It's been out for a bit.
So now they're releasing the books individually as hardcovers. So if you have the paperbacks, you can get them. But this is just I mean it's not just one of the greatest mangas ever created. I legitimately think this is one of the greatest comic books ever created of any type of comic book. I love this book so much. Just beautiful, beautiful art. Very cool cyberpunk kind of setting.
Yeah.
It kind of I actually would say that this book and subsequently the animated film was very
it's tremendously
not
influential.
not just I guess I mean to say like a cornerstone of the cyber, like had a hand in creating the imagery that we associate with cyberpunk. Comes from Akira.
And like I think I think you can actually shoulder a certain amount of the positive blame on Akira for like popularizing anime in the West. Like,
100%.
Like
yeah.
it was a bridge across the ocean.
Yep. And yeah, this I mean this was a lot of people's, at least from that people of my age or older, this was like the first anime that you ever saw, because and you know what, and it kind of ruined us for all other anime when you see the greatest anime ever made as your first one.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want more, and it's just like, it's good, but it's no Akira. You're always chasing that high. But and it's not like a nostalgia thing too. I do think that this actually has held up.
It holds up great
for like 40 years as the greatest.
It turns out, like
made.
government conspiracies and experiments and stuff are a little bit of a timeless plot
line. Right. Yeah, and just it's just so cool. All the motorcycles and.
Oh, motorcycles, laser rifles. It's a fun read.
Superpowers, psychics, like it is cool.
Meat Mountain.
It's got that bizarre imagery.
Got body horror. Yeah,
it's got everything. It's got everything.
Yes,
it's beautiful. Okay, one other graphic novel that's coming out tomorrow that I want to briefly talk about. I don't know. This might be the thing I'm actually most excited for that's coming out tomorrow.
Oh,
The Knives by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Possibly my actual favorite writer artist team that's currently like regularly producing comics is Brubaker and Phillips. They've done a lot of comics together. One of their most famous ones is Criminal, which was an anthology series that all took place in kind of the same setting, but it was just different stories about different people getting into crime shenanigans.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do. And this is a new standalone graphic novel set in the Criminal universe, I guess you could say, starring characters that have appeared in Criminal before. And specifically, if you remember early issues, I mean, I know you remember, Aaron, early issues of Criminal. There was like this running motif of this surreal comic strip that would appear in the newspaper that the characters are reading.
Yeah.
And it was Frank Kafka, and it was just like a surreal detective story. And this graphic novel, this new story, is the story of the creator of that comic, Jacob Kurtz, going to Hollywood to be like a creative consultant on a Hollywood TV show adaptation of his comic.
Okay.
And I read the first like 30 pages of it, and let me tell you, I mean, first of all, it's really good. It's like so well written and just beautifully drawn. Like here, just beautiful pages here. I love the coloring work. I love this team. These guys make the best looking comics. But yeah, this story, you know what? I have a feeling that some of it is probably influenced a little bit by Ed Brubaker's personal experiences with Hollywood and selling the rights to things that he's worked on. There is a Criminal series in production right now. I think at Amazon is who I think did it.
Okay.
And I don't know when it's supposed to come out, but it's supposed to be pretty soon. So I just have to imagine that he was.
There's a little bit of it's a personal book.
Yeah, it's very well. Like they already did do a story that was basically just it was all like comic book industry stuff. Like the characters were all kind of analogs for other comic book industry people, and because I don't know if you're aware of this, Aaron, but the old period, the golden age of comics, the Silver Age, there were a lot of people in the industry that weren't exactly on the level.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
I mean, you know, the industry was kind of basically founded by gangsters, and so. But anyway, so there's this character is kind of like related to that book as well. That they put out a hardcover of that called Bad Weekend, which is also one of my favorite Criminal stories. Yeah, I have to imagine that Ed Brubaker was writing this while he was in Hollywood, like working out deals for the Criminal series. So
you write what you know.
So I'm really curious to exactly,
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to get further into it because the description of it says it's actually a pretty sprawling, grand scope of a story. Like it actually takes place over a period of like decade, or more. And there's multiple characters that get followed around, and they get intertwined into this like epic story. So the first part I read was the part of the comic book creator going to Hollywood and feeling like he's getting ripped off, which
I can see that. Yeah,
it's for Ed Brubaker is the one who famously had the quote that he was paid more money to be an extra in the Winter Soldier movie
than he was
paid by Marvel in royalties for creating the character of the Winter Soldier. So yeah, it's
the industry is it's an industry.
It's an industry, all right. But I'm really looking forward to reading that. Like I said, Brubaker and Phillips, they never miss. They never miss. Like everything they write is at least pretty good, if not the greatest comic you've ever made or you've ever read, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay. I need a drink of water. Baron.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Aaron. I don't mean to keep calling you with that nickname slur that we use around the store. But you got a few books that you picked out. What do you want to talk about?
I will go in reverse order of how much I like them.
Okay.
The neat thing is the one I like the least I still like. So this is the last issue of Batman.
This is Robin and Batman.
Sorry, Robin and Batman.
Jason Todd.
Mm-hmm. I picked it up because, well, I read the other two, and I picked it up because I always liked me some Jason Todd. The art style is interesting. I'm not in love with it, but it is neat. It's fun. The story goes exactly how I thought the story was going to go. Jason Todd tragically has a bit of an Anakin Skywalker problem where it's hard to draw his early stuff before he did the famous The Bad Thing. And as a result of it, it ends up being oops all foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And I don't like, Jason's known as like the crappy Robin. I get that. That's his character thing. But like, it's nothing but ominous, crappy Robinness a little
Yeah.
bit. And it's like, there's one point where it's like, oh, he avoided trouble now, but what about the future? And he had like a really long shadow that looked like an adult version of him with a dome on his head. I'm like, don't do
I
that.
was gonna say, are
Don't,
there like several scenes with crowbars
yeah, don't do.
where
Don't,
he's like, "Wow, I hope I never meet another crowbar
I hope
again
I never
someday."
get hit. Yeah, I hope I never get hit by a crowbar. Winks at this camera. It was good. It was enjoyable. I'm complaining for something that doesn't necessarily need to be complained about. I did get Jason Todd, and I got what I expected.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was good. It's just that, yeah, he's a character that people are too tempted to write in a handful of ways that I'm not the fondest of.
Yeah, I do like this art. I get what you mean when you say it's unique, and so it's not.
It is very interesting, and sometimes that's more important than it necessarily being my thing.
Yeah,
because it's somebody's thing.
I like the watercolors.
Yeah,
it's very like I like the way like it's all kind of washed out, but then Jason Todd, like the Robin suit is very colorful.
He's very colorful in a very bleak setting.
Yeah, it's a like I said, interesting looking book.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, very cool. All right, you know what? While we're talking about Batman, there's another book that comes out tomorrow called Immortal Legend Batman. This is a #1, and this is a new Batman series by several people. Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom are writing it, and the art, I believe, is by Dan Mora, who, this guy is basically drawing like every DC comic book these days. But this is like a weird. I don't want to say weird, but it's like some kind of alternate timeline sci-fi future Batman where it takes place.
That costume is transcendently edgy.
This is like very Azrael.
I was about to say, yeah, Azrael.
And so I wonder if that's who it's supposed to be, because
that.
he's looking for Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And so, and like, it's like they're on a moon or something, and they have space travel, and
yeah.
So there's like going around stars, and there's it's a cool looking book.
It looks fun.
I didn't read it. I just flipped through it to kind of get a feel for how it looks. I do like Dan Mora's art.
I don't like that his cape is always doing that.
It's a little odd, but also it's like Batman Forever style future tech.
He's gotta walk sideways through doors.
Right. But yeah, lots of cool stuff going on in this one. So, but Kyle Higgins, you know what? I didn't do my research. He's written so much stuff, and I forgot the one thing I was gonna say. But it's on the tip of my tongue. Like Massiveverse, I believe that's him. That kind of stuff. Okay. But anyway, so this looks kind of like that. Like if you read any of those books that were part of the Massiveverse, this feels like him just kind of bringing that style, but to Batman. Okay. Similar to how Batman Year 100 was just Paul Pope bringing his style to Batman. Rather than writing a Batman story, he's writing his story that has Batman in it.
A Paul Pope story featuring Batman.
Yeah, that's kind of what this feels like to me. Or I should say looks like. It looks like a...
It's fun and it's different.
Yes, agreed.
And yeah, I get that.
Also coming out tomorrow, I think I'm going to briefly just blast through several of the books that are in my regular pull. Fantastic Four Fanfare #4. I've been enjoying this as an anthology series goes. They've done a pretty good job each issue of having at least one creator that I'm like a tremendously huge fan of, so I feel like I'm getting my money's worth. In this issue, they have J. Michael Straczynski's story, who I run hot and cold on. He's a good writer, but I don't always like him. But most importantly, there is a story by Mark Bagley. Mark Bagley draws, illustrates the story by Greg Weisman, and I'm trying to get to the good. Oh yeah, there we are. This story called Clobbering Time, which is about the Thing, because everybody loves the Thing, and it's written by Daniel Warren Johnson, who's like the guy right now. He's writing Transformers. Yeah, he's just doing
I
so
could
much
see
stuff.
that. The second you said that, I
Yeah.
I see the DNA.
Yeah, and the art is Tyrell Cannon, who I believe he illustrated a comic a few years ago that I really liked called The Schlub. And he's done I really like his art. It's very appropriate for Daniel Warren Johnson's type stuff. But yeah, it's basically just like a wrestling match with all of the FF's villains and the Thing.
Yeah, and then Calabec for some reason is there.
well, no, that's
Calabec.
It's I mean, okay, so that's what's is it? Is it Blastar? Yeah, it is Blastar. Okay, yeah, there it is. It's Blastar. Both characters were created by Jack Kirby.
Oh, you wouldn't say. You don't say.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah. There was so that's what part of the reason the New Gods stuff is so cool is that it was created by Kirby, and he was basically just doing all the stuff he was doing with Fantastic Four and Thor, just putting it all into the DC universe. But anyway, so yeah, this is like I wasn't really planning on getting this series because like I don't really need to read a Fantastic Four anthology series, but I'm shocked at the caliber of creators they've gotten for it. So it's like really pretty good stuff.
Yeah, you just gotta pick it up just to see.
I gotta support Marvel when they're actually I don't know
doing something you want.
Putting good creators on their characters, but I don't want to be too mean. Also coming out tomorrow, I've really enjoyed this book called I still haven't figured out how to pronounce it, by the way. Gehenna?
Yeah, Gehenna.
Is it Gehenna? Is that a word?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
It's a biblical word.
Oh my goodness, my mind is being blown.
Yeah.
Explain this to me.
Hold on, give me a second. I don't want to get it wrong.
Okay.
Let me double check. But no.
So this book, I've talked about it when it's the last two issues. This is issue 3, and this is just two-fisted street level superhero action. Our main character, the sexy femme fatale lady assassin, gets into a street fight with this street level hero called the Public Defender, which, by the way, is a great name for like a Daredevil type of superhero. That's clearly what they're doing. Like he's a lawyer, he's lawyer themed, and he just is like a boxer, and I just really like it. It's beautiful. I'm a little jealous. Like I wish I would have thought of that idea, Public Defender for a Daredevil pastiche. Like that's too good. But anyway, what did your research?
I was just double checking to make sure. It's a divine punishment kind of thing.
Okay.
Like
I feel stupid for not looking this up.
Yeah, no, I knew it was a Bible term. I just didn't remember it.
Well, see, this is why.
Yeah, it's the valley outside of Jerusalem, and it was used for like sacrifices and burnings and stuff like that.
Okay.
But like it's supposed to, symbolize God's judgment of the wicked. Like it's a.
Oh man.
It is a physical place, but it's like a metaphor. So Judaism doesn't have a concept of hell.
Right.
This is the close parallel to like Jewish hell.
You are like literally to use another biblical reference. The scales have fallen from my eyes. You are awakening me to a whole aspect of this book that I feel like I should have figured out before issue 3, but here we are. I got a lot on my plate these days. This comic is great. This is very, very cool. It is written by Patrick Kindlon and art by Maurizio Rosenzweig.
Rosenzweig?
Yeah, Rosenzweig. I think. Very, very cool. This is actually, I would say this is one of my favorite superhero comics coming out right now because I love how shameless and unpretentious it is. It is just like
a superhero comic.
It's just a superhero violence comic specifically.
I not to literally judge a book by the cover, but like I just like the vibe of the cover.
Exactly.
And like that, like when I saw that in your stack, I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. I'll probably see if I can find 1 and 2 and give it a
check it out. It is definitely like a R-rated. Like there's nudity in it, so I do have to be careful about which pages I show.
Fair enough.
But like it is just like a shameless, like we're just going full like 80s edgy vigilante style.
It's fun too.
And it is fun, and it knows what it is, and it has great art. I guess that's what I need to underline here is like just looking at this art by Rosenzweig. Like it's just so good, like so much better looking than I would say the average Marvel and DC comic. Like it, I say this a lot as I mean this as like the ultimate compliment, but it looks like a comic book.
I get
You
that.
know, if you
I
know
get
what I
that.
mean, like it looks the way comic books should look,
The,
in my
the
opinion.
the fact that he's a fairly no frills, two fisted kind of guy makes me like extra makes me think Daredevil,
Right.
especially with that not Elektra there.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly. And like I said, it's very clearly, overtly what they're going for because she is a very Elektra type of
yeah.
character, and yeah. So I'm really enjoying this comic book. One of my
Was
favorite
I'm
comics.
I'm almost certain there has there like there there's such an obvious plot that like I don't see how they couldn't have had it. But has there
Hmm.
been a Daredevil plot where he was put in a situation where he had to defend as a lawyer somebody that he wasn't like he put away, like he put in handcuffs?
Oh,
And like because your job as a lawyer is to defend whether you think the guy is guilty or not. You have to
yeah,
do your best job of it.
many times.
Okay, I feel like it's an obvious plot.
I
I feel like
actually
that's
feel I think it's the first appearance of Leapfrog, who that classic Daredevil character, who by the way I do love. His first appearance was uh, I I can't remember the exact turn. He was Daredevil was appointed his defense attorney,
yeah.
but I can't remember if Daredevil's the one who caught him or if he just like got caught by the cops and Daredevil had to defend him, and then he like during the trial gets like he secretly has his super spring boots on and like busts out, and then Matt Murdock has to put on his Daredevil costume and fight him.
See, that's an easy way out. I want the boring way where
Yeah.
he has to legitimately defend somebody he knows is guilty,
Right.
and then that person hits, and then he succeeds because he's a good lawyer.
He's a good lawyer,
and then he
right?
does at least one scene where he's like against a wall like this,
Yeah.
and then he confesses to a priest, and it's a good Daredevil story. And then he goes and beats the guy up again when he does something else.
I feel like it has to have happened at least twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
But I've read a lot of Daredevil comics, and I can't think of one off the top of my head.
There's a scene where rain is streaming down his mask, so it looks like he's crying, but it's not actually him crying.
Oh, that's like
Just
every
rain
other
coming down his mask. Yeah,
that's like every other
no,
Daredevil.
I'm writing a really good Daredevil story
it's
right
happening now. You're witnessing the creation of a Daredevil epic. Okay, so we've got we're actually getting pressed for time here.
Oh crap! I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry because I didn't want to talk about most of this stuff anyway. Real quick, just a few books that I read and enjoy. You know, I love me this Superman series. I'm always like, this is always one of those books where I'm like, I have read so many Superman books. I probably don't need to keep reading this
But
series.
why not?
But I'm really enjoying it. Joshua Williamson.
After all, why shouldn't I read it?
Exactly. Also coming out tomorrow is We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. I have really been enjoying this book. I don't know if you've read this one at all, Aaron, but when the trade paperback comes out, definitely check it out.
Okay.
This will make sense to you, but I don't mean to oversell it in this way, but it has shades of Venture Brothers in it.
Heck yeah.
Where
okay, yeah, no. I'll...
It's not as overtly a comedy as Venture Brothers is, but it is kind of playing around.
Pulp.
Yeah, faux pulp. It's like a super spy setting. It's not an outright superhero setting, but it's like super science. It's like a James Bond type of world.
I got you.
And the main character is basically a Bond villain, and he's got his that's his daughter. And the first issue is so good. I don't even want to say all this stuff to spoil it.
Yeah.
Because it's just the way the story unfolds. You're just introduced to the daughter character, and then things keep escalating where you're like, oh, okay, they live on an island. She's got robot servants.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like people breaking in. Oh, the people breaking in are like the UN. Oh, her dad is like a scientist. Oh, he's a supervillain.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really good.
Thanks, Scorpio.
Yeah, it's very much it gave me that vibes as well. The all-time greatest episode of The Simpsons. But anyway, I definitely, if you haven't checked out this book, We're Taking Everyone Down With Us by it's Matt Rosenberg and Stefano Landini. Really, really cool comic. A few others here that we're just gonna skip over a lot of this stuff. I really want to recommend Sleep. I don't know if you've seen this one, Aaron. I've talked about this one every time it comes out. This is issue 4, and this is one of my favorite comics coming out. It's by Xander Cannon, and the basic plot is it's basically like a werewolf story, but you never see the werewolf.
Okay.
So it's just about this guy suffering the psychological trauma of like every time he goes to sleep, he wakes up somewhere else, and there's been a murder, and like the whole town is on edge because there's just destruction and blood everywhere.
But you never see the other side.
See the other side of it. And so, like in the last issue, he tried to kill himself, and it gets kind of dark. Spoiler alert.
I would guess.
And
Yeah.
this issue opens with him waking up, and he's like, "Oh my God, what happened? I tried to kill myself, and
I guess it didn't work.
it didn't work." Exactly. So, man, this is a good comic. I really, really like it. Also coming out tomorrow, Absolute Wonder Woman. We talk about the Absolute books pretty regularly when they come out. I'm really enjoying Absolute Wonder Woman, but I can't speak about this issue specifically because I'm still a few months behind on my Wonder Woman reading. But still, I think it's one of the best looking Absolute books coming out. Speaking of Absolute books,
Yep.
All right, here you go. Now's your time to shine.
So, new Absolute Martian Manhunter, which is somehow against all odds. Sorry, which is somehow against all odds the book I liked the second most today. It's very good. It's the I'm guessing it's the end of this run.
It's the okay. So real quick, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'll just correct you here. This is issue 6. It's the end of this first story arc, which was supposed to be a 6-issue series, and the response to issue number 1 was so big that they got greenlit for 6 more issues.
Fantastic. I'll take them. I will not. It's been good the whole time. Don't get me wrong. I do think that sometimes extending series beyond what they were intended to be can be problematic.
I have a little bit of that worry myself.
But it's been good enough the whole way through that I'm very happy with it. I really enjoy how weird everything is. Like the Martian's powers are very strange, and it makes him seem both incredibly powerful and also not very powerful at the same time.
Right.
He can affect the consciousness of an entire city, but he can't help you win a fist fight.
Yeah.
Like it's an interesting power set.
Yep.
But no, it's fun. The visuals are relentlessly amazing. It does fight scenes in such a trippy way. It does like psychic powers in such a trippy way.
Mm-hmm.
And all of it is because like in universe, like we don't have the ability to understand fully what the Martian is. And
right.
Like, it's just, it's only a big green man because that's the way we can see it. That's the way we can kind of picture it. And I like how like it, well, there was a part there to where like he was just the next page symbol, and it was sort of a way of breaking the fourth wall. I'm almost okay with like he's just sort of he's just here. Let's start.
It's I really like the way it's written by Denise Camp, he's somebody whose writing I've really come to really like lately, and like he even is like, oh, it's like he keeps making references to metaphor. It's like it's the only way we can understand how this battle works is like it's like a metaphor.
Yeah,
but it's like a visual metaphor.
There's not literally two 1,000-foot tall aliens fighting over the city.
Yeah,
they are combating inside the minds of all of the people of the city.
Exactly,
which is crazier when you think about it.
Right, like, and it's really neat the way that's unfolded visually. Rodriguez. Is it Javier Rodriguez? I think it's Javier Rodriguez. I feel embarrassed. I can't remember that. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not showing you the art that I'm trying to show. I don't want to flip too far into this because I don't want to spoil the ending.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But like what? So first of all, the ending felt very appropriate. It was a bookend for the something. Yeah,
something. It was a bookend for something.
It was a bookend for something. I really liked it. What did you think of the ending, without spoiling?
No, I liked it quite a bit. I was like, oh, they're doing it. I was like, oh, they're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I got giddy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, nobody's going to comb the previous videos, but not to talk about something I got really excited about, 6 months ago.
Right.
But when I saw the thing we're referencing happen 6 months ago, I'm like, that's what sold me on the book.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And yeah, it was really, really good. And like you said, it's funny that it's the book you liked the second most.
Yes.
And we'll get to that in a moment. But before we do, there's one other book briefly wanted to mention coming out tomorrow is The Invisible Man, Universal Monsters Invisible Man. Image Skybound has been putting out these Universal Monsters comics, and they've all been pretty good. This one is written by James Tynion, and art is by Danny. And I actually didn't get a chance to sit down and read the whole thing, but I flipped through. I read the first couple of scenes and I flipped through it. It's pretty cool looking. I like the Invisible Man as a character, but I have to admit, I mostly like him because of his appearance in The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen by Alan Moore.
Yeah,
I love him and the way he's used in that story. And this feels it. it feels kind of like they're the same character because
Yeah.
they are technically.
Yeah,
Like,
kinda.
this is just like horror version. It's the
Yeah, no,
the amoral.
they make it pretty
character.
clear he's not a good dude.
Yeah, exactly. And he gets the power to be invisible, and it's. Did you read this issue?
Yes, I did.
Oh, did what did you think? Like as a
No,
story?
I enjoyed it a good deal. Like it's obviously setting up. Like it's only getting started, and like it's a slow burn.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Like it's. I mean, it would have been really easy for any other comic to like end this with like, and then he got his powers, and what's gonna? It's like no, they actually like. Okay, I guess that was a spoiler.
Oh yeah,
but like it's still working towards the plot. Like it's not like it doesn't feel like a superhero origin, and it shouldn't because it's like a serial killer origin.
Horror serial killer.
Yeah,
right,
but
exactly.
like it doesn't feel like a superhero origin story. It doesn't fit like the stock stuff.
Yeah.
You see the guy starting to kind of unwind, like unhinge a little
yeah.
bit, even before it gets to whatever the unhinging incidents are going to be, and it's fun. It's interesting. But this is a thing that I'm only really okay. This is where I'm going to hurt you a little bit. I'm only mostly familiar with the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen from the movie that you hate.
I can't.
But is he supposed to be like does the serum also make him super smart in the original story, or is that a new thing?
In the original Invisible Man story.
Yeah,
I don't actually know.
Okay, I don't either. There's I mean, they haven't said it officially. There's mentions in this one that the serum also makes you smart.
Yeah, okay.
But like, I just wasn't sure if that was an original thing or if that's a new thing.
No, I really like I said, I'm really only familiar with the Invisible Man through League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Yeah. I might have seen the original movie at one point, but like because there was a period in my life when I was just going through all of the classic Universal horror movies.
Yeah.
But I've also largely forgotten a lot of things from that point in my life. And you see a movie once 20 years ago and you kind of forget everything about it.
Also, like throwing on bandages and like a heavy jacket to indicate a person being invisible while also allowing an actor to play an invisible person is such a great trick that like it's a good look. Like it's just it's a classic, stylish look.
But Invisible Man #1 coming out tomorrow. I say check it out. Okay, one more book we're going to talk about. Yep. And it's a book that we both really loved, so much so that we both grabbed it off the rack to talk about it, and you can hold it. Whoop. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, issue #2. This is volume 2 of Beneath the Trees, issue 2. Gosh, I really like this.
I absolutely love this book. I thought this was going to show up last week, and I thought this was going to show up the week before, and both times I was disappointed, even though I got like Transformers and other good stuff. Like I had plenty of good stuff to read, and I was just disappointed this wasn't in it. But we got it.
Well, here we are. Here it is. The wait was worth it, I would say. Yes.
Yes.
I really like the way this. So first of all, I want to say I really liked volume 1, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not without my criticisms about it, though. One of them was just that I kind of wish it was longer. Mm-hmm. So I'm very happy that we're getting more.
Yeah.
But I really like the way volume 2 so far has, how the story has opened up. Issue 1 was just the new character.
Yeah.
And it was just her point of view of her looking for her missing brother, who we know, the reader knows, in the previous issue.
That dramatic irony
was murdered by the main character of the series, the serial killer. And so issue 2 now is her story of like how she's
been dealing with like the past, like because it's like 8 years after.
It is 8 years later, and so this is just picking up where she's at in her life 8 years later, and it ends like both of the issues kind of end in the same
around
place.
The same point,
right? So issue 3 is going to be like, I assume, the convergence. Of, like now like the first 2 issues were just setting the stage, and now that the stage is set, we're going to see where it goes. And I really, really like the way that the story unfolded like that.
Like, it's amazing how I've not... So, the gimmick is that it's this really dark, really graphic serial killer story told in Busy Town.
Yeah.
Like, and like...
Beautiful art.
I can't state enough how I've just not gotten tired of that gimmick. like the gimmick of, hey, look, cute characters in nightmare situations. It still works. Like, it still works really well.
Yes.
And like, there's really good. Like, I mean, it's probably helped by the fact that the book is much more than the gimmick. Like, there's just good writing through it too.
Yeah.
If it was only the gimmick, it'd get tired really fast. I felt that with another comic on the shelf. But like, no, it's good. I'm really excited. My only complaint is that it's not a month from now, and I can't read the next one.
I need issue 3.
There's a really good point of foreshadowing in this one that made me think, oh, like it's not direct, it's very indirect, but it's like, okay, maybe I could predict how this will go, but it's also very unpredictable how it'll go.
Well, there is some direct foreshadowing.
Yes.
How there's a wild bear wandering around the city.
There's a wild bear.
And I was having to explain to one of our coworkers, he's like, wait a minute, there's animals in that comic?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, they're anthropomorphic characters, but they're not meant to literally be like they're not the Ninja Turtles. Like, they're not mutated turtles.
They exist alongside of it.
Yeah.
Like there is, yes.
Just like Goofy has a dog named Pluto.
Yeah. I thought Pluto was Mickey's dog.
Whatever, who cares? The point is Goofy and Pluto exist in the same universe.
Yeah.
But so real quick, I just wanted to mention, I think this is my favorite panel in the whole comic. It's a really good looking comic, but I love the way this dog is drawn. Like,
it just looks like a dog.
That expression on his face. Like, let's see if I get. Yeah, look at that.
Like, I mean, that is the look of a dog that doesn't feel like being picked up right now.
Right, exactly. I don't know how well it's picking up on camera, but that just made me laugh when I saw it. It's just such a funny looking face.
It's a silly little dog.
I feel like that could be memed a little bit. He's just a chill dude.
I mean, just a normal dog.
But anyway, so we both really loved this comic. I mean, it's definitely your favorite book of the week for sure.
You
have to say, absolutely.
I mean, I don't know if I could say like of what's currently coming out, because I'd have to like fight Transformers over that. But,
right, I know.
Like, yeah.
Well, I mean,
and weirdly, G.I. Joe has moved up in my book a bit.
Like, we got 2 minutes, a quick mini review of Transformers and G.I. Joe from somebody. Well, I guess it is somebody named Aaron, but it's not me, is the point. Because like, I talk about G.I. Joe and Transformers all the time. How have you been liking it?
I've been loving it. I mean, they've been like not just decent writing, because I mean, here's the thing. I love robot, like it is schlock, but it's well executed schlock.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's giant space robot aliens, and you can't make the deepest writing with that. But I don't care. Like, it's fun and it's enjoyable and it's shameless.
Yeah.
And like, there's just like good panels, good moments. Like it's
in issue 3 or issue 23 of Transformers, when they have the big showdown.
Yeah.
And Optimus says, one shall stand, one shall fall, and I could just hear the song in my head. You got the touch.
You got the power. And like Megatron, like doing the equivalent of like throwing his gun away by like detaching his plasma cannon so they could have a fist fight.
Yeah.
Like it's a good spin on that very typical trope, and I kind of love it. Like, it's great. I'm really looking forward to the next issue. It's going to be a very personal fight.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll hopefully it comes out. We can have you on the stream again when the final issue comes out. But yeah, I think we're going to call it there. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
Hope you saw some cool comics, because there's a lot this week. But like our friend Dan says, there's comics out there for everybody. It's not just superheroes. Sometimes it's Invisible Men and serial killer bears.
Yeah.
And
don't just support women's rights. You also have to support women's wrongs.
That's exactly correct. Yes. All right, everybody, we're out of here. See ya.
Take care.